Excerpt from 8 Billion Vinnie Jones by Johnny Pulp. Axes in the hands of dead-eyed freak girls aged 10, less, aged 7, in blood-soaked, semen-splattered white dresses, shit dripping out of their hair. Did I mention the eyes? Fucking dead, buried, redug up, chopped into a million bits, then reburied just to make sure. Dead. That sort of dead. Open mouths, drooling green raw pus, scab flood, ripped scar tissue, scab liquids, dribbling out of their slack mouths. Did I mention that they're coming on? They're coming on with a fixed grin. See the bone through their skin. The skull is what is on fire, under the skin, axes gleaming and drenched in blood. Little scummy bits with flesh hanging off the blade. Thousands of these little chaos dolls. Their trail littered with dead Vinnies, little girls killing spree, killing Vinnie Jones, coming on to kill, kill, kill. Rabbits. Furry, blue, fluffy bunny rabbits. With oozes, hopping through torn-up, splintered flesh and bone to the last shuddering rhythm of dying nerve-squashed corpses, butt-fucked and lead-strewn, monster blue rabbits with oozes hopping up roads, and in their trail, dead Vinnies. It's a fucking rabbit at the door, like the rabbits your little sister used to have when she was a kid and wasn't being arse-fisted up against a wall, roared out a Vinnie at the door after something came a-knocking. Then came the smoke drench of overkill as 1,000 oozes blasted away the front of the building and fucked to ribbons whoever, whatever lived beyond the walls. Blood, shit, semen, gunge, all over, flying through the dead burning air, stench of death, stench of fear, and the noise of mechanical, motorized, technically, brilliantly awesome anti-biological warfare. Monster on monster, the majestic utter blowout of the human form, blood and blood and blood. Nothing but the screams of the screams, flying out and splattering against the walls, falling down. Not so much falling as diving, burying themselves, looking for the ass of the universe, as far down as they could get. Gore, hell, jism, grunge, blatter, spunkter, bruise sprinkled down. Sex dolls, machetes slicing out through the rubber cunt slits, slashing into the brute flesh of the Nazi Vinnies. Sex dolls on every high street, pink plastic fuck mattresses with wanky mental walks, and out of them blood-gorged blades slamming and butchering as they make their way from the blind place to the next blind place. Out the arse, a pistol, firing bullets randomly at any butt-fucking ass-fisting Vinnie thinking of coming up from behind. And the trail of these dolls, dead Vinnies, all over the road, their cocks hanging out or halfway down the street, after the wicked flashing blades had cut off the pride members and thrown them weaseling away in a flood of agonized blood, shit, and piss. Sex dolls all over the fucking town with knives in their cunts and guns in their asses, bazookas in their mouths, roared one of the Vinnies into his mobile phone as he reported the blood and shit-wrenching sight. Rockets launched from the mouths of the anti-Vinnies, screamed into the hapless biomutant hardman, and blew him into innumerable pieces of blanked-out death. Death sex, dolls of doom, flamethrowers of hell. It was happening. In the Wembley Stadium complex, a top Vinnie was getting reports of mayhem that weren't supposed to happen. The whole fucking point of our taking over the world was to restore order. What we're getting is chaos. This isn't supposed to be happening, he roared, his hate-twisted mouth screwed into utter disbelief as the stories started to deluge in. What the fuck's gone wrong? We've wiped out all opposition, roared out another Vinny standing by next to him. Don't get on my tits, you lag. I know what's supposed to happen. It just isn't, so shut the fuck up. The Grail needs to know about this, screamed the first one in disgust. But everywhere, at the very moment when the nanotechnological biomutational takeover of the world by Vinnie Joneses had taken place, an amazing counter-reaction seemed to have kicked in. At Euro Disney, all the giant plastic replicas of the Disney characters were breaking out of their solid, lifeless plinth setting and bringing violence, hate, and destruction on the Vinnies wandering around the place. A gigantic Mickey Mouse, wielding a power cable, was zapping 1,000,000 volts of electricity into hordes of confused, growling Vinnies, frying them into black toasted carcass meat. Pocahontas, with 100 Vinnie cocks dangling out of a blood-gorged mouth and a swagger sex walk. The Lion King, chewing on the 7 heads of 50 mutilated Vinnies caught taking a leak in one of the ultra-cleansed Disney bogs. And all over the place, with flagpoles impaled up their asses and crunching out of their mouths, Vinnies were left hanging out to dry by a giant killer Snow White, who used the Vinnies she wasn't spearing as dildos. The whole world has gone crazy, screamed the top Vinnie back at Wembley. The reports kept coming in. Nothing made sense. Raw violence he understood. They all understood. Axe slaughter, flamethrowers, rockets, blades, oozes. Nothing out of order with that lot. These Vinnies were pure and dedicated to murderous, death-dealing violence straight out. Mental carnage and killing sprees. This was nothing strange. But what was strange was just that the world was now supposed to be full of nothing but Vinnies. Vinnies would fight with Vinnies. It would all be in-house. It would all be under control. But this stuff, this was out of control, out of house. It was coming from somewhere else. It seemed like this stuff was anti-order, was chaos.